The FAME team here at Norman is going to demonstrate and walk you through the Common Formative Assessment process. At this first station here, the teachers are working collaboratively to look at the Common Core State Standard to create their learning target and their I can statements. Tracy, what Common Core Standard are we working on today?
Our standard is Know and Apply Grade Level Phonics and Word Analysis Skills in Decoding Words.
And your learning target I can statement?
Our target is I can read words that have a final E, also known as a magic E.
All right, as you collaborated together, did you come up with a formative assessment strategy that you would use for your students? Kathy?
Yes, we decided that since it was to read it, it would be best to do it in a form where we listen to each child read for a minute. And we came up with magic E words and they're reading for a minute and we're seeing looking at different skills that they can do.
At the second station here, our next step is actually administering the formative assessment. Amy, while you're assessing, what will you be looking for?
I'll be looking to see if they do the long or the short vowel, and also to see if they're sounding out each letter or if they're reading the whole word.
Observation is another way to collect data for formative assessment, and recording that data will also allow you to be able to differentiate your instruction for your students to meet their needs. The third step of the Common Formative Assessment process is analyzing the data. This is the most important step in the process because from this data, that's what's going to be used to drive your instruction so that the students' needs are being met. Kathy, can you walk us through what you're doing and thinking as you look at the data that you've collected?
In our group, when we put this all together, we decided there were 3 major skills that we would look for, whether they would use the short or the long vowel, whether they needed to sound it out, or whether they could read the whole word. I'm going through each one and looking to see which category they fall in so that I can set up groups to differentiate the instruction of which kids need reteaching, which kids can have enrichment, and which kids just need some extra practice.
Once the data has been analyzed, Kylene is going to show that the next step is to differentiate that instruction. We need to group our students accordingly so we can enrich them, we can reteach them, allow them extra practice. Kylene, what will the other students in your classroom be doing when you pull these groups over here for small instruction?
Well, based on my data that I've collected, I've kind of set up 3 different levels in my classroom. I have a group that pretty much has it, but I'm going to challenge them even more. And I'm going to give them some speed drills with words that have magic E but are 2-syllable words. I'm also going to give another group some extra practice reading magic E words with a partner, so that's just kind of giving them extra practice. And then I'm also going to be reteaching another group. So we will be practicing with cards, reading the word with a short vowel, and by adding the magic E with this flip card, they will be able to practice with me one-on-one the word with the magic E added and how the vowel changes. So I will be reteaching that way.
The final step of the Common Formative Assessment process is teachers collaborating and discussing what worked, what didn't work, what strategies that they used, what activities were or best practices that they used, or just sharing ideas. Jackie, what's important to you? How important is it to have this learning community of teachers and collaboratively thinking?
Coming back together as a grade level is really important so that we can bounce those ideas off one another, what was effective, what worked really well, and that what we did was efficient for what we were actually looking for, to make sure that it was a good formative assessment.
Right, we need to analyze that formative assessment to make sure that it's actually giving us the information that we need in order to differentiate our instruction.